Do you think people have to suffer to succeed?
Sometimes, maybe, yeah. Sometimes.
And there's a lot of different ways to suffer. You can still have financially a comfortable place,
yes.
but maybe suffer emotionally,
yes.
or some other way.
Yes, yes.
But do you have to suffer?
I don't think there's any. I don't like it when people have these, these firm ideas about what should or shouldn't happen. I honestly,
Too much gray area to be a firm
well,
line, yes
no,
or no?
it's because of what we were talking about before. Then people suddenly go out and start doing this weird suffering thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's ridiculous, because they think that's what's going to give them, and it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly ridiculous. I have an example even in in the dance. I teach, in the university there, and I went to see two of the grad students give the final thesis demonstration, blah blah blah, and I thought it was very beautiful. There were three of them. And it was very beautiful that two of them had chosen to be looking at things that were very much to do with their whole lives. It wasn't, they hadn't just chosen to present a performance, and it was to do with questioning life, basically, the two of them. And one of them had specifically to do with joy. That became her what she was fascinated in, and why she'd arrived at that was because she'd spent 8 years in LA, I think, and had been unbelievably miserable, like almost suicidal, because she felt so isolated and So her response was to start getting interested in something the opposite of that. And one of the others was similarly, so and I could tell as they were giving these demonstrations that most of the faculty were like, oh God, because there's this idea, and it's rife in the art world, I think, that you have to suffer and it has to be dark, and that's how you find true art. And I think it's bullshit. What I found so fascinating about these two women is that their response, it was a personal response, but it was a response to what's happening now, in the world. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think you can divorce, your own responses from the greater picture.